Hey everyone, this is Megan Stike here, owner of the B2B Builder Consulting Firm. Today I'm going to talk about part 3 of a 3-part series, the top 6 product trends in the health and wellness category. If you missed part 1 or part 2, they're available on my YouTube channel, the B2B Builder. And if you have any questions or want to discuss those, please feel free to reach out to me. All right, without further ado, let's jump right in with trend number 5. Trend 5, beverage, hydration, and beyond. Yes, the beyond part is important in beverage. Having personally lived in the hemp world for the past 2 years, the trend in beverage is when every cannabis or hemp company was and is still talking about, with some big huge forecasts being projected, as much as forecasts can be projected. At the Natural Products Expo West last month, hydration is a trend I expected to see, and I did see much of it. Liquid IV is a brand that is almost envious for many, having recently been snapped up by Unilever and seeing great growth. Noon is another company that's been in the hydration game for a while and is now with Nestle, but there are many, many more. And I expect that will continue, as does industry. William Hood, Spins, Nutrition Business Journal, etc. are all highlighting the growth of hydration that will continue, with projections anywhere from 60 to 200% over the next year. But beyond hydration, what you're noticing in beverage is the addition of key ingredients supporting alternative need states in cognitive focus, in mood support, in energy, and of diet. If there's some new ingredient, neurotropic, mushroom, a new probiotic strain, a new cannabinoid, a new herbal, someone's putting it into a beverage or trying to put it into a beverage. And the beverages are in all flavors. Flavors are also getting ramped up as part of this trend in beverage. I think it was Spins who talked about the global flavor trend that's happening. It's definitely present in beverage. Things are getting punched up a notch. And the thing is, it's companies of all sizes, from startup all the way up to the large players. For me, this trend almost has the same feeling of that CBD craze that was a few years ago. Everyone wanted in, everyone was looking to put out a product, and the products that are out there are in every format, from powders to sticks to tablets to shots to ready to drinks. Personally, I haven't seen an IV bag, but hydration's in medical spas, and I'm sure these beyond beverages or beyond ingredients as it relates to hydration could easily carry beyond the aisles and retail space into these medical spas too. The other piece, as I talk about beyond the aisles or across the aisles, those other trends I talked about over the past 2 days, convenience or sustainability as an example, those trends are also carrying into beverage. As an example, there were several companies launching on the foundation of sustainability with an aluminum can. Now, they had cool flavors, they had cool branding, but it's water in an aluminum can. And that's really what it is. So great idea, right on point in terms of trend. But that beverage is hydration and beyond. So look for that. Now, beverage trends aren't new, right? 2015, 2016, you saw kombuchas and coconut waters and coffees. That kind of changed in 2018 to more sugar-free trends and natural flavors. And now you're seeing this trend in hydration and alternative need states, but also alternatives to alcohol and the addition of convenient health and wellness products in beverage. So it is evolving, which you would expect in any category, but it's growing in more into health and wellness. And that's the important part, is beverage in terms of products in this space is growing more through functional ingredients and need states, as well as those other trends that we're seeing, from sustainability to convenience to additional functional ingredients. So it is exciting times in this trend of beverage, hydration, and beyond. And as I mentioned, I'm seeing a lot of companies jump right into this trend. My question for you to consider as you think about this trend in your growth strategy is it part of your growth strategy? Should it be, or is it distracting from your growth strategy? This one is one that could easily be a shiny object, and I always caution against shiny objects distracting from core strategy. They're great to look at and evaluate and review, but be warned, they can also distract from growth. Last but not least, trend number 6, human connection. Okay, at first blush, this might not seem to be a product trend, but for me, this is the number one trend that is standing out. People want to connect in a meaningful way. What that means for you as a business is that your conversations at events or in people's homes through presentations and meetings are more personal. What that means is you are going to get to the why, and the why really matters. So why behind the brand? Why the product? Why the ingredient selection? Why the purchase? That why ultimately matters. And it is on trend in terms of people are going to want to share and discuss and connect. Now, back to product trend. I wouldn't put it on my list if I didn't see the connection as it is. So some history. Mintel summary on global food and beverage trends last year highlighted the need for consumers to feel in control and knowledgeable about their products and brands, and wanting to tie them to the planet. Last year, January 2021, LinkedIn highlighted the marketing trend of authentic human connection, and they suggested personalization and brand stories be included as part of those campaigns for consumers. This year, trend watching highlighted the desire for consumers to want more local products, or at least the feel of local and the feel of community and connection. This trend of human connection is one of consumers connecting to humans and therefore the products. Consumers want to know what is in the product, which means we're going to continue to see cleaner labels and simpler foods. They want to know where the product comes from or how it's sourced. So transparency on sources and telling the story of the source or sourcing is going to continue. The mission of the company and the mission of your sourcing is also important. And there are some awesome new products and companies out there created on the foundation of a mission, or tying part of their revenue back to a mission supporting the earth or the humans and or hunger, etc. Ultimately, people are craving connection with humans and their products. So as a brand, again, you're going to want to continue telling those stories, but they're going to want to know who you are and what is your community. That's going to matter. For ingredient companies, consider how you're going to tell your story and that sourcing story, and how is that going to translate into a consumer story, or is it? My personal recommendation is that all companies should be considering this trend as part of your growth strategy, just as you should be sustainability. But if for some reason you don't have a good why it should fit in, I would implore you to consider how this fits into your company ethos and your human strategy. With that, that is all. That is the top 6 product trends, and I will be sharing a recap tomorrow. And then next week, I will be sharing a few questions for you to consider during your strategy review sessions. Thank you for listening to the top 6 product trends this week. If you would like to connect, my contact information is here. And just as it's on trend, I would like to connect with you. Ask me questions. Let's talk about the trends. A little push and pull. I don't mind. But really, I'm here to support you in your growth strategy and identify how to navigate through these. Look forward to talking to you more next week. Have a beautiful Wednesday.